Good evening, everyone, on a scorcher of a Thursday night. Welcome to Live from Redfearn's Bar in association with Barnsley FC Sports Trust. The sun's out, the pubs are opening again soon. I'm personally potentially just weeks away from getting a haircut, and we're heading into Saturday's game against Millwall on a run of 4 wins from 6. We're off the bottom of the table, and we've just ended 70 years of hurt at Loftus Road. The good news doesn't stop there, though, as for next hour, we're going to be joined by a firm favourite amongst Barnsley fans. He's got an infectious positive attitude, always gives us 100%, stretches championship defences all over the place, and his performances on the right wing last season led to thousands of Reds fans chanting his name to a famous David Bowie tune. Share this if you're watching on Facebook, hit retweet for those that are on Twitter, and push subscribe if you're live with us on YouTube. As I say hello and welcome to our number 7, Jacob Brown. Good evening, Jacob.
How you doing? You all right?
I'm all right, mate. How's your week been, and how are you doing? Being back at training after 3 points on Saturday?
Yeah, it's been a very good week. Everyone's been nice and positive after the win. I think we're just looking forward to getting on with the next game because we're all feeling really good and we're confident that we can do it now.
And before we kick off properly with the questions, in this new work from home Zoom call normal life that we've got, it doesn't really count as a Zoom call if a dog doesn't appear at some point. So we're just throwing it out there. We're happy for the puppy to make an appearance over the next hour if it happens to be nearby.
Might call him up in a bit.
Well, look, the majority of supporters are excited that football's returned and that we got off to a winning start at QPR of all places. But before we talk about the game, I just want to get a sense of how lockdown was for you as one of the players who stayed local and didn't fly off to some faraway country for a couple of months. What did you do to keep busy over those 2 or 3 months that we were locked down?
Yeah, it was. I think at first it was quite refreshing to have a bit of a break. I'll get him in now. So yeah,
cute.
That's his appearance done. But yeah,
that's probably what you were doing for those 2 or 3 months, looking after that.
That's been lockdown, just looking after him. But no, I think when we first finished, for lockdown, it was quite refreshing, just to have a bit of a break, rest your legs, have a mental break and stuff like that. But after maybe even a few days, I just wanted to get back at it. So we were sent a program by the sports scientist, doing the running and gym and stuff. So that kept us quite busy. But I think in my spare time, I've started reading and stuff like that because I'd not really done much of that before lockdown. So I thought it'd be nice to start doing different things I've not tried before. So yeah, I've done stuff like that, and obviously I've carried it on now that we're back playing. So stuff like that, doing gym, just everything really that you can do.
Massively long bike rides as well.
Yeah, lots of bike rides.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you mentioned the reading there because a certain Brian Howard got in touch earlier and said if he doesn't mention it, ask him about his reading.
Yeah, I think it's been quite good for me because before lockdown and even maybe when in football I don't like to I tend to beat myself up. So I think the mental side of the game is something that I've really wanted to work on. And some of the books I've been reading have really helped me with that, just with my self-confidence and things like that. So I'm hoping that they can make a big difference in my game now that we're back playing.
Oh, nice. And was it difficult to stay disciplined to the fitness schedule, especially when it looked like the season might not start at all?
Yeah, I think obviously at first we were thinking we could be coming back anytime, so you have to stay strict and do all your running and things like that. But when you know that the season's finished for now and you don't know when you're going back, it's probably easy for you to think, I won't do the running today and stuff like that because you don't know when you're back. But I think me personally, and I know all the lads at the club, we know the situation we're in and we don't really have any room for slipping up. So we all worked hard and stuck to our programme, and hopefully that'll pay off in the next week.
And you mentioned your teammates there. Which players did you stay in touch with the most during lockdown?
I speak to George Miller quite a lot on a daily basis. I think some of the fans will be as well because I think he's been ringing everyone.
Top of the league, isn't he? I think
top of the league is doing well. But yeah, probably George, Jack Walton. Speak to Jordan Williams a lot as well. So.
Oh, and how good was it for you then to see Jack in goal on Saturday?
Yeah, I was buzzing for him because he's a great guy and he works really hard, and obviously he's been at the club probably a bit longer than I have, and he always works hard, and whenever he gets his chance, he does really well. I think you've seen that in the games like Walsall, Luton at home, and games like that. He's a really good player. So for him to get the chance at the weekend and show how good he is, I was happy for him.
And onto the game on Saturday and that feeling of when Saturday comes. We asked Michael Solbauer similar questions on Tuesday, but it's always good to hear different perspectives or even the same answer. But how good did it feel to be back out on the pitch against QPR?
Yeah, it's the best feeling because obviously it was amazing being back training and with the lads and stuff. But when you're actually out and about to play a game we've not played in a long time, it was such a good feeling. And to then go and get the win, it was amazing. Yeah.
And some of the attacking play in the first 25 minutes was if we'd not been away. Did you feel really sharp yourself in that first half?
Yeah, I felt good. Obviously, Corley and El linked up, and Ben with the assist linked up well for the goal. But I think we started off really well, and thankfully that was the goal that we needed, and we just held on from there. But I think like the performance is really good, and I think it's because we've been working so hard in training. All the lads have been at it, and we're really up for the challenge.
And you could tell watching the game that it was obviously getting harder and harder the longer it went on. We had to put in a huge effort for the clean sheet, thanks in no small part to your role in defending from the front. Did it feel like that to you as one of the players out there? That it was getting harder and harder the longer it went on?
Yeah, I was absolutely blowing. I think about 70 minutes in, I was feeling my calves just like cramping up. I think a few of the other lads were as well, but we just think it's an extra 20 minutes. You just got to push yourself, and we did that, and that's why we dug out the result.
Yeah, it seems that the fake crowd noise is piped into the stadium for Championship games, where people might not be aware, but in the Premier League, it's piped in from the studio, so you've got that choice of on or off. Was the crowd noise a positive experience or an unneeded distraction?
No, I personally, I didn't really like it. I think it may be different at home, when it's your own crowd noise. But it was from the kickoff, it was really loud. I think they turned it down. I don't know if they turned it down after we scored or at half time, but when it turned down, it was all right. But at first, it was really loud and a bit off-putting.
Is it difficult to shut it out? Is it just you just keep picking it up?
No, I think when the game gets into flow, you sort of forget about it. You just focus on the game. But at first, because obviously there's no fans there, but you can hear everything. It was just a bit weird.
Yeah, well, there's a lot been said about the empty stadiums, the environment, the atmosphere. How much do you notice your surroundings when you're in the middle of the game? So how many times do you look up and think, oh God, there's no one here?
Yeah, I think because it was the first game back, and it's just so different. A lot of the time when the ball was going out, I was looking up and it didn't seem right. But obviously, I think as the games get on, we don't want it to happen, but you sort of get used to it, and we just have to use it and try and get the motivation ourselves. Obviously, we won't have the fans backing us. They'll be backing us at home, but obviously at the stadium they won't be there. So we need to find that internal motivation to push ourselves.
And do you have to work hard mentally to remember what's at stake and the fact that it's not just a pre-season kickabout?
Yeah, because you get that feeling about it sometimes. Obviously, when you're going, especially with the weather as well, because it's so hot, there's no fans and things like that. You can sort of fall into that trap. But I think for us personally, we know how much is at stake. So I don't think we'll really be affected by that.
And then last question on Saturday, and I know you've spoken openly about this in the press recently, but how powerful has the message been with all players kneeling before the games? And is racism something that you've sadly had to experience as a Barnsley player?
Yeah, I've experienced it in the past, and I've said this like I said in the press conference. It's just unfortunately something that's happening in the world and has been happening for a long time. But the fact that obviously we as footballers and football being such a big platform, we can get that message across. It's really good that we're doing that, and hopefully it continues for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll come back around at the end and look towards Millwall on Saturday, but we just want to talk about your football career now and your journey through the Barnsley Academy and becoming such an integral part of the team for the last 2 years. So as a kid growing up in Halifax, who were your team? Who did you support?
Well, obviously I was from Halifax, but I supported Liverpool growing up. I went to watch Liverpool quite a bit when I was younger. I'd probably still say they're my team that I look out for on the weekend and stuff, because obviously how good they are. But yeah, growing up I was Liverpool fan.
And who are the players that you really looked up to? I know you're only 22, so some of them might still be playing now.
I say the main players I looked up to, Thierry Henry is my idol, the way he plays. But I think I liked Gerrard and Fernando Torres as well.
Nice. And then you're on Sheffield Wednesday's books first as a teenager. Were they one of a number of teams who tried to sign you or that you had trials with at the time?
Yeah, so I had trials at a few clubs before that. Like I was on trial at Huddersfield, and they didn't want to sign me, and I'd had trials at other places like Bolton and teams like that. But Sheffield Wednesday were the team that I went on trial to, and they signed me. I was there for like from under 9s to under 14s, so quite a long time.
Yeah, good 5 years. Well, and naturally, nobody's going to feel good about being released at a young age, but it happens in football all the time. And Ethan Pinnock was on a couple of weeks ago saying it made him more determined to make it as a footballer. How hard was it at the time being released by Sheffield Wednesday?
Yeah, at the time it was like, because obviously football was like everything, especially when you're so young as well. Everything seems way more bigger than it is. And when I got released, I just thought that was it. I thought everything had finished. I was absolutely gutted. But looking back, like I say, everything happens for a reason. And when that happened, I now use that as like motivation to push yourself and get to sort of like prove people wrong. Yeah, at the time it was hard.
And how soon after you were released were you invited to come and take a look at Barnsley and our academy setup?
It was quite a while after. So when I got released, I was 14, and I went to play Sunday League at my local team, Halifax Irish. I was there for 3 seasons, and then I joined Guiseley. So that's the club I was at before Barnsley. But I was only there for a number of months. And then we actually played Barnsley Academy in a friendly, and that was when they decided they want to take me in. I think that was in 2014. So that was a while ago as well.
Oh, nice. And then who were the coaches that you worked with in the academy years and playing up towards the under 23s?
Yeah, a number of coaches. I think Chris Howarth was like the coach that actually offered me the trial, and because he lives in Halifax as well, he used to take me in. He'd pick me up from the McDonald's. I wouldn't eat anything there, but he'd pick me up and he'd take me in and take me home as well after training. So I have massive thanks to him. But other coaches were people like Bunny, Mark Burton. Eki was my manager for the under 21s at a time, and then there's loads of other managers as well. Bobby Hassel.
Yeah,
there's loads of different people.
And you mentioned Hecky there. It was Hecky who originally brought you into the first team picture with your Barnsley debut in that game away at Brentford in the Championship. I know it was only a couple of minutes that you came on, but how did it feel making that very first team appearance?
Yeah, well, that's everything that you dream about when you're younger. And sorry, I think when I actually made my debut and came on, it was like the best feeling, and it's something that I'll always remember. And you use moments like that as your motivation for why you play the game.
And it was the following season you spent some time at Chesterfield on loan. Were you happy to make that move, and how was your time there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, originally I'd want to be playing for Barnsley's first team, but when I found out that I had the chance to go on loan and get a lot more first team football, I was really happy. Obviously, it didn't go as well because we ended up getting relegated, and it was a tough time for me. Obviously, playing first team football more than I'd been used to, and getting used to it was quite hard. But it's one of the best experiences, and I think for a young player, it's massive in your career to do that.
Yeah, my next question was going to be, do you think it's really important for young players to get out there and spend some time on loan to develop and just know what it's like to be in a first team every week?
Yeah, I think it's probably the most important thing you can do if you're not playing at your own first team, because it gives you that experience you need to know how to get into your own first team, and it's just completely different to academy football. So it really does get you ready for when you're ready to play for your team.
And I think you played 13 games in that loan spell, but you didn't play for Barnsley that season. However, Daniel Stendel then comes in the summer of 2018, and all that changes. Did you know during that pre-season that you were going to have a more active role in the first team squad?
No, it was probably the opposite, to be honest. I think at that time I was sort of thinking I might have to go on loan again to get more experience, because like I said, at Chesterfield I played, like I said, 13 games. I didn't score or anything like that. So obviously it was good for me to get the experience, but I didn't think that I'd really maybe impress the new manager. So I was thinking I might have to go on loan or something. But when a new manager comes in, it's a fresh start. He doesn't really know any of the players. You just got to prove that you're good enough. And obviously it took a while before I got into the team. But I think when I impressed in pre-season, I think I knew that I would have a chance throughout the season.
And it was under Stendhal, you became our utility man, really, and you played probably as many positions as Bobby Hassel did when he was playing at Oakwell. After being a striker for so long, how did you keep focus when the switches came and you were playing right back?
Yeah, well, it was my first game. I think it was against Scunthorpe when I came on as a right. Well, I actually came on as a left back. Then after about a minute, he put me over to right back, and I just think at the time I was so happy to be actually on the pitch and playing. I couldn't care where I was playing. If I was centre back, I wouldn't have minded. So I think just the fact that I was like young and not played, I didn't mind playing anywhere, and I still wouldn't really.
And did you feel comfortable at right back, or was it more about just doing a job for the team, getting on the pitch, and then hoping that one day they started pushing you more forward?
Yeah, I didn't feel comfortable. I was a bit nervous when I came on, but I did quite well. I remember some of the lads coming up to me after saying, like, "What's just happened there?" I played right back and I was bombing forward, getting loads of crosses in, and we actually drew that game. But I think after that game, I thought to myself, well, I don't mind this position, so I didn't mind when I then played right back in the future.
And then I imagine it probably helped under Stendhal that our fullbacks were essentially wingers most of the time, and we were attack.
Yeah, because he wants the fullbacks to get so high. Like I didn't really feel like a defender. Obviously, I had to get back, but I felt more as like just an attacker, but further back.
And the chance to move higher up the pitch came when Brad Potts left, and quickly followed a Young Player of the Month award in January. What a month that was for you! How good a feeling was the photo at Oakwell with the EFL award?
Yeah, it was amazing because I think everything just happened so quick that month. Remember when Potsy left? I think we had Bradford the first game after then, and I trained really well that week. And I remember the gaffer Stendhal at the time saying like I trained that well that he couldn't not put me in the team. So I was so confident going into that game, and then to get the first goal at home, like, it was just amazing. And then we went on a good run like after then. So then to get the Young Player of the Month, like it was good to have. I felt like I'd done well enough to deserve that, and it was good to get that achievement.
And there was some key personal moments from yourself in that second half of the season that are worth talking about. First one being your memories of opening the scoring in that Bradford game with 15,000 Barnsley fans watching. How was that?
Yeah, well, I think that was my first goal at home actually, and like that's what you dream of doing, like I say, scoring at home in front of the home fans, and it was an amazing feeling, and I had so much confidence after that. I just wanted to keep getting on the ball, and it was really good to like get the win that game as well.
And this one, I know you've talked about this before, but I was down there for this game, but the sending off at Southend, do you still get upset looking back at it now, or have you learned that it's just one of those things and it happened?
No, I know it's one of them things and it happens, and I've actually learned from it, but I still don't think it was a sending off. But the lads always banter saying that we started doing better when I got sent off, so I think I say that's why I did it.
Took one for the team.
Yeah, we'd have more space on the pitch after, but yeah, like I say, it's something that you look back on and you learn from it. So like I say, everything happens for a reason, and then after then things got up from there.
And this is my personal favourite Jacob Brown memory, and I've got the video to prove it. But the very last minute winner away at Walsall. What can you tell us about the scenes as that crucial goal goes in?
Yeah, that's one of the best days of my life. I remember the game being like so bad. I know that like everyone there must have been thinking that we've like sort of slipped up here because we've not played well at all. And for me personally, it's probably one of the worst games that I've had. And then in the last minute when it dropped to me and I had the first shot and then it rebounded and then everything sort of just happened. Like it went in and I went crazy. Everyone went crazy, and then like we're just celebrating after. So it was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was brilliant being in the away end. You then had back-to-back goals in April, including another crucial winner at home to Shrewsbury. That one was in front of the Ponty end. How big was that goal as the chance of promotion became more and more real each week?
Yeah, that's one of my favourite goals as well, just because like how important it was at that time that we got the win, and like obviously in front of the Ponty end, like it's just things like that happen is like what you play football for moments like that, and for everything to be happening so quick, obviously being high in the table, chance of getting promotion, and for me to be now sort of getting a regular spot in the team and playing well and scoring, like everything was just going really well.
And then finally, from that season, securing automatic promotion to the Championship. Was it a surreal feeling achieving it without kicking a ball?
Yeah, it was quite weird because I think we were waiting for results from Sunderland and Portsmouth, and obviously them two teams being quite good, we didn't really expect it to happen that night. And luckily, we were all sat there just like refreshing our phones, waiting for the scores to come in. And when we realised that I think they both needed to win, or we needed them both not to win, or something like that. And when it happened, like everyone was just straight on the phone in the WhatsApp group, just like messaging each other. And then we met up that night and went out and celebrated.
Brilliant. It's brilliant. Well, look, now looking back to the start of this season, I mean, that was quite frustrating for you because you started this season, first handful of games being injured. Was that just really annoying after coming into the team the season before?
Yeah, well, I'd pulled my hamstring on the last home game. I think it was Blackpool. And I was absolutely devastated because I knew that we'd not like finished the job there. And I knew that I couldn't play a part for the rest of the season. But then in pre-season, I'd pulled like re-tore my hamstring. So that was like, it was really frustrating because I was just thinking like it's just going to be something that keeps happening. And I knew I was going to miss the first lot of games, obviously being in the Championship, which I was really looking forward to. And it was hard to deal with, but I think looking back now, I was working hard like in the gym and stuff like that. So, and then obviously on the first game of the season when we beat Fulham, I was like, oh, I don't mind watching this if we're going to be playing like that. But yeah, it was so good to be back playing and experiencing the Championship.
Was it then difficult to adjust personally from your last few games being full of goals, assists, wins in League One, coming back to fitness and playing in a team that, we weren't in great form, we were struggling, and it was a real battle for us to pick up points. Was that hard?
Yeah, I think that was the hardest thing because I'd like to say been doing really well at the end of last season, and as a team we were so used to winning, and now you're playing against like these teams that are like really difficult challenges, and we're not getting the results that we're really used to last season. So I think that's the hardest bit, like realizing how much of a challenge it's going to be.
And then we had a change of coach. Daniel left, Gerhard comes in. When Gerhard Struber first came in, what did he do differently with the squad in those first few training sessions, team talks, match days that we weren't doing before?
Yeah, I think he got his point across how he wanted us to play, especially out of possession, like the way he wants us to press, and he made sure that everyone knew the job. So everyone, whoever, if you're on the bench or starting, you knew what he wanted from you. And I think it was Blackburn the first game.
Blackburn away, yeah.
Yeah, like we didn't. I think we lost, didn't we? But we played really well, and I think even though we lost, we had a lot of confidence from that game because like we give them a really good game and we were confident in our own ability. But yeah, he just like brought that confidence in us really.
And at this point, your role in the team moves even further forward. So you go from right wing back to your under 23 days as a striker. When you were told you were going to be moved up front, was Gerhard really clear with you on what your strengths were for that position, how he wanted you to play, and how it could really benefit the team?
Yeah, definitely. I think because I'd say my main strength is my pace and power, and I like running in behind. And that's just exactly what he wanted me to do. He said he didn't really want me sort of coming to feet as much because we've got players like Corley in the 10 that can do that. And if I'm stretching the defence as well, it helps the other players have more room. So for him to have the confidence in me to play up front, like it helped me a lot.
And you touched on it just there a little bit, but it feels like you and Connor have struck up a great understanding and partnership of how you can stretch the opposition, make them work for everything, and then Corley just comes in through the middle and gets on the ball. How much do you work together on the training ground as a three to be on the same wavelength and understand each other?
Yeah, I think it sort of just clicked straight away. I think credit to Corley, obviously he is a striker mainly, but for him then dropping into a different position, but still playing as well as he has done all season, like it just shows how good a player he is. But then like me and Chaps, we've got such a good like connection because I think we just like I know where he's going to be on the pitch and things like that. And so obviously we do work on it in training, but it just seems to be some like a natural like chemistry that we do have, which is good.
And we had Michael Solbauer on here 2 nights ago. Brilliant passion for the game and passionate about his role as being a leader at the back and in the dressing room. How much of a difference has he made since coming in?
Yeah, he's made a massive difference. Is that you have someone in that team that you just look up to and they give you that sort of leadership and he's that person. Everyone sort of like just sees him as someone you look up to and he commands everyone. He tells everyone what we need to be doing and stuff like that. And I think it's very important that we have a player like that and that can be vital coming into the last 8 games.
And the league table would look very different if we took it from the games since Gearhad came to Oakwell rather than the whole season. We've got 4 wins in 6 games, with more wins in the second half than in the first half. Obviously, still a huge job to do, but are we confident we can do it and survive this season?
Yeah, I think, like you said, it's easy to look at the table and see where we are and the points we're on and think, oh, like, we're going to be down. But the way we've been playing like recently and the confidence that we have, I think there is a massive chance that we can do it. And I think we just have to take each game as it comes and just remember the motivation and how much we want it. And I think we can do it.
And is there just loads of positivity on the training grounds at the moment? Is everyone, especially after Saturday?
Yeah, I think even before Saturday, everyone was just like, everyone's buzzing. I think obviously so happy to be back training and stuff like that. But obviously now we've got that win. It'll be even bigger boost that we need.
So looking ahead then, and Millwall on Saturday, what do you think we learned about them in that hard fought win at the Den just before Christmas?
Just that obviously they're a very physical side, and it's a tough challenge in that sense. But obviously they don't give up either. We were obviously beating them, and I think that game they were all over us in the first half. But luckily we got that first goal, but they never gave up. They kept fighting. Obviously we kept fighting as well, and we got that last minute winner, which was, like I say, just moments like that are amazing. And I think we can use that as a motivation to just say, like, even till the last minute we keep fighting, and hopefully we can keep doing that if we need to.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of training again, does it feel like it's getting easier on the body? The more you train, the more you practice, or is it still just a little bit harder at the moment?
Yeah, I think the first few days back, like, it was tough because obviously it's not what we were used to. But I think you sort of get used to it. But now, obviously, after we had the game and we played like a full game, it takes a bit out of the legs. But we've been working hard again the week, and you sort of get your energy comes back as the week goes on, and we're all fit and ready for the weekend.
Well, from Saturday we play 8 games in 25 days, which is going to take a massive effort for everyone in the league, not just for us. Is it accepted in the squad that the gaffer's going to need to rotate, rest, make changes, and is that something that he's been upfront and honest about as we've prepared for the restart?
Yeah, I think he's said that obviously it's not just 11 players; it's the full squad, and everyone has to be ready. But I don't think there's one player that doesn't want to play. I think everyone wants to play 90 minutes, which is, I think it's a good thing because there's so much competition and there's so many like talented lads in the team that anyone can play and anyone can do a good job, which is what we need because everyone's pushing each other.
And we talked about the empty stadium factor in the QPR game earlier. Are you going to miss the fans on Saturday? And how much do you love the Starman chant when it gets going and there's 2,000 or 3,000 singing it at once?
Yeah, obviously, I think it was Gillingham away was the first time I'd heard it. So I scored that game. I think we win 4-1, and I was on the coach on the way after, and on Twitter I seen someone had tagged me in it, and it was loads of the fans walking down the street singing it because I'd heard it in the game, but I didn't really know all the words, and then I was listening to it on Twitter, and it was just like a surreal feeling because obviously coming up through the academy, like no one like really knew I was or anything, but now to be known and have a chant like that, it is a good feeling, and it motivates you even more because you know how much the fans like care about you and like they really are supporting you. So yeah, it's good, but it's going to be hard, obviously without the fans because it does make a big difference. And I don't know, I might ask if they can put the Starman chant on in the crowd noise, see if they'll put that on.
Look, home advantage didn't seem to exist in week 1 of Project Restart, but we're the ones at home for the next 2 games. What do you think we can do to try and make being at home an advantage for us?
I don't know. I think just because obviously it's your home ground, you just got to sort of try and make yourself think it's just like a normal home game and just be comfortable in your own surroundings and things like that. We don't have a long journey to get to another ground and things. So hopefully we can use them little things to our advantage.
Well, look, we're into the last stretch now, and I just want to ask you some thought-provoking questions in a positive way, just to finish on. Is it exciting and interesting at the same time that you're just 22 and you're already in a position where younger players are looking up to you as someone experienced who's made that transition from academy prospect to first team player?
Yeah, it is because obviously, like I say, we've got such a young team, but sometimes I feel like one of the old ones in the team. And like I say, I'm only 22, but we've got so many talented players in the academy and like the ones that are now in the first team that they're all really good. And I think it is good that they might look up to me and I could probably even like not look down because I was the younger, but like I look up to them as well because they're all talented players and we all just bounce off each other and help each other through the week.
Yeah, and I saw you on social media bigging up Ramal and his debut. So have you got quite a good relationship with him?
Yeah, he's like my little brother. When he signed, we just had that chemistry straight away, and to see him now like in the first team, because I think everyone knows how good a player he is, and he really does work hard. So see him now be like in the first team and playing with him, like it's a great feeling because he's a good lad.
And what advice do you have for young players like Palmer or Matty Wolf, who might come through at some point as they start their own journeys to try and become first team players?
I'd probably just say to them, like, be confident because, like I said, they've got so much ability and there's nothing stopping them from playing week in, week out. And I think they just have to be confident in their ability, not think just because they're younger and not really playing many games that they're not as good as anyone else because they are, and they just need to be confident. And like Mali's done at the weekend, he's got his chance and he's taken it.
And another question on advice. What advice can you give to young Barnsley fans watching who dream of being the next Jacob Brown and playing for Barnsley? Because there's loads of them out there.
I'll probably just say never give up is the main thing. Like from my experience, you have things that you have down periods in your life and you just have to use them and flip it around into a positive and just think that's going to be your motivation to work hard. So never give up and just keep working hard. Everything you do, give 100% all the time.
And then the last two questions, just a couple of casual ones, so you don't worry about your answers. But if you could guarantee one achievement in your football career right now, what would it be?
Right now, just stay in the league. Like last day of the season, just not be relegated. I think for me, like a achievement I'd like in the future would be to play in the Premier League. I think it's something that every kid dreams of. So I think that would be a good achievement.
And assuming your favourite position is striker, which I think we've worked out it is, out of everyone past and present in football, we know it's Thierry Henry as your strike partner, but which two wide players would you love to have in that team as well?
Well, I think I'd have Mane out there just because like he's unbelievable, and I've got to have I'll have Messi as well. Messi. Mane on the left, yeah, Messi on the right,
and Brown and Henry up front.
Yeah.
Good. And look, I know you're only 22 and your football career is only just beginning. You know, there's a decade or more to look forward to. But as someone who's been involved in football from under 9s to under 14s at Wednesday, and then all your life basically, are you already looking and thinking, I want to be a coach or a manager? Are you looking that far ahead?
I'm definitely like looking ahead to the future because like it's a great career, but it's quite a short one, and you've got to do something after that. But I don't think I could be a coach. I think I'd probably look to more on the sports science side, like personal trainer or something like that.
Nice. Not a sport agent like Brian.
Oh no, I'm not as good as him.
Good answer. Well, look, we snuck a handful more questions in there than normal, but I think we've whizzed through it so quickly that we're done in 40 minutes. So that was brilliant. Look, I know you've had a lot of media work during lockdown, so we really appreciate you giving us your time and coming on to speak to us before the game on Saturday. Thanks a million on behalf of every Barnsley fan watching now and the ones that will watch over the next few days.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Look, predictions are the kiss of death, so we've deliberately not asked you or Sol for any predictions or scores because it's always going to go wrong. But when you're out on the pitch on Saturday, know that there's thousands of Barnsley fans literally around the world from San Francisco to Adelaide, kicking every ball, cheering you on, and we're all with you for the 3 points.
Yeah, thank you.
Final words for me. Look, with the fixture list going crazy from this Saturday, we've a list of guests lined up, but no confirmed dates yet. We're not going anywhere, but we are conscious that things are slowly getting back to normal, and we've got 2 live games and loads of official club content to keep us occupied over the coming weeks. Stay close to our Facebook and Twitter for announcements over the coming days, though. As mentioned on Tuesday night's session, we hope it's been mission accomplished in terms of helping you all with lockdown. We hope you found these fun, and we definitely hope you'll be excited by some of the announcements we've got coming up in the next few days. Jacob, thanks again, and massively positive thoughts being sent your way for Saturday.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
Goodbye, everyone. Stay safe, and we'll speak on here again soon.